In South Carolina, where history and modernity often coexist uneasily, the countdown to a controversial moment has begun. At 6 p.m. this Friday, 76-year-old Brad Keith Sigmon is set to face execution by firing squad, a punishment that hasn't been used in the state before. For Sigmon, a man sentenced to death in 2002 for a crime of horrifying brutality, it will mark the end of a journey spanning decades, fraught with legal battles, appeals, and haunting memories. But for the state, this execution isn't just another case. It's a moment that opens up questions about justice, humanity, and the weight of history. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to 2001, when tragedy struck the lives of Gladys and David Lark. In their Greenville County home, the coroner remembers arriving at a scene that shocked even seasoned crime investigators. Mrs. Lark was slumped in a chair, her body riddled with injuries from repeated blows. Just a few feet away, Mr. Lark lay lifeless on the floor, struck down with the same blunt force. The weapon? A baseball bat. The severity of the injuries, visible even at first glance, spoke to the violence of the crime, a crime Brad Keith Sigmon would later be convicted of carrying out. At the time, emotions ran high. Outrage, grief, and demands for justice filled the courtroom as Sigmon stood trial for this gruesome double homicide. By 2002, the verdict was clear: death. For more than 20 years, Sigmon has lived under this sentence, enduring the uncertainty of appeals, stays of execution, and the slow churn of justice. Now, with the courts having cleared the way and the clock ticking down, the State Department of Corrections has presented Sigmon with an unusual choice: lethal injection, electrocution, or the firing squad, a method not used in South Carolina's modern era. Sigmon chose the firing squad. The decision itself raises eyebrows. The firing squad, rooted in a grim history, often associated with war times and frontier justice, is suddenly a reality again, sparking debate among legal experts, human rights advocates, and average citizens alike. What does it say about a society when such a method is resurrected? Is the firing squad more merciful than the alternatives? Or is it simply a way to sidestep logistical challenges as lethal injection drugs become harder to procure? Sigmon's attorneys don't see this execution as justice. They've filed for clemency, urging the governor to change his sentence to life without parole, to allow Sigmon to live out his remaining years in prison rather than die in this historically charged manner. But as of now, the governor has shown no indication that he will step in. For the Lark family, it's a complicated closure, retribution that might never fully heal the wounds left by the murders. As the hours tick closer, South Carolina finds itself at a crossroads where the past collides with the present in a way that forces everyone to confront uncomfortable truths. The question isn't just about Brad Keith Sigmon, but about what justice should ultimately look like. By 6 p.m. on Friday, one chapter of this story will end, but its echoes may last far longer.